Welcome back to our program. Rebecca Taylor is my guest here on the show today. Now, she's a painter by interest really, but she's got this abiding love for doing caricatures, and I think that's what makes her extremely interesting as a guest here on our show. Now, Rebecca, you've also done this book on the Royal Challengers Bangalore, the caricature of all the players.
Absolutely.
That's kind of interesting thing to do. So that also goes with the fact that you like doing sports persons.
Well, let's just say the hockey book was out during the World Series hockey, and Sunil Shetty was the one who launched the book during the hockey match, right after
Yes.
the first match. And then, IPL was just right after that. So, with the hockey book out, I was commissioned to do this particular book on the Royal Challengers. But sports people in general, I think they have a lot of contribution and they've made our nation extremely proud. So I think they need some kind of boost or some kind of recognition in terms of, and I also think fine art and sport is a rare combination. And,
Indeed it is, yes, that's right. But now, from what we've seen of your work, it's been hockey, it's been cricket, you've got other sports persons as well. What about athletes? What about basketball players? What about football players?
Well, I did do Diego Maradona as well as Pelé and Roger Federer, Vishwanath Anand. So we have all sorts of sports. I mean, I haven't done too many, but let's just say I'm getting there. And it's a journey. I mean, art is not a one-day event. It's my life. So yes.
Right. Talking of that, and let me now touch on the fact that your background really is art, is painting and oils and watercolors, whatever else. Now, you started when you were a very little girl. Is there anybody else in your family who actually paints?
Well, not really, but let's just say my family has been extremely supportive. My mom, my dad, my sister, and everything that I do, because, you need critiques for your work, and they are the first critiques for my work.
They're also most often the most honest critics, really,
Absolutely,
isn't it?
yes, they are. And in fact...
knocks you down to size in a way.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Keeps you on ground level.
Yes.
The best part about family and their involvement in my work is that there are no drawbacks, They're always there for you, even if you're going downhill. And I think, in a way, that itself is inspiring as an artist. You take whatever... art again is an expression of oneself, and you take every aspect of life and you sort of channel it into this kind of expression.
Right. Now you've got this interest in caricatures and doing that kind of work, but so where is the time, and how much time do you actually devote to real painting, which is obviously your first love?
Well, yes, it is my first love, and I think the only love of my life, really.
Really? Okay.
Painting, it could take, sometimes there are days I just paint for I do a 5-minute sketch, and there are days I paint for 20 hours at a stretch, at a go, without a break.
Really?
So 18 to 20 hours. Like say, for example, the IPL book that I had worked on, I did about 40 odd caricatures in a span of 5 days. So I was working 16 to 18 hours a day.
That's amazing, Where do you find then the time to study as well? Because you've just finished your 5-year course.
Absolutely.
You're getting ready now to do your master's and then go on towards your PhD. Where is the time for Rebecca Taylor to actually be, wedging in all of these activities?
Well, if you love something enough, you'll make the time.
That's what they say, but sometimes there are only 24 hours in a day.
True, there are, sometimes... a lot of people look at everything that I do as a kind of a job or a work-oriented thing. It is in all its professionalism. But when you love what you're doing, you sort of don't keep track of time, and you're just doing it because you truly, truly are passionate about it.
Right. Tell me about your paintings. Tell me the kind of stuff that you do. What are you interested in doing in that area?
Well, I started... rather fell in love with colors at the age of 2, and ever since I've been on this magical journey, just following my dream. But in terms of medium, I've done oil, acrylic, watercolor, charcoals, pen and inks, mixed media, I sculpt. I do a lot of things in terms of art, because I believe that art is one of those professions that don't have a retirement, so you don't have some sort of deadline where you're trying to, bridge yourself into it. And also because the possibilities are endless.
Right.
You can take art, it doesn't have to be on canvas. It can go a little bit on canvas and it can go beyond that.
Right.
It's something that you can extend your ways. You can put your creativity in ways you never even imagined.
Right. But what's the type of paintings that you like to do? Is it, is it still life? Is it scenery? What is it?
Well, I do landscapes, but I'm extremely inspired by Salvador Dali, and he does the surrealism kind of art where, you have a bit of realistic, because my art is rather inclined in that direction. But in terms of Salvador Dali, there's this element of surprise, and that's what excites me.
But he's always, you look at a Salvador Dali and it's always kind of quizzical. It does raise a lot of questions in my mind. What is he trying to say? I mean, I have to stand back 30 feet away from his painting to see what's hidden there. So is that the direction in which you're going?
Not really. I wouldn't want anyone to stand
back
30 feet of my painting.
Indeed, most of his paintings are like that.
It is, indeed. But like I said, he's inspirational, but I don't want to be a Salvador Dali. I want to be a Rebecca Taylor. So when I see my work, I like to see a bit of me in it. And what I find inspiring in his work is that a lot of people, you see landscapes which are very realistic, and you see portraits which are very realistic. And no offense to those kind of artists, but you might as well take a picture. So with Salvador Dali's kind of work, you have an element of realistic art which requires a lot of skill. And then you have this abstract element of surprise, which also takes a lot of skill, because there's a lot of hidden meaning in it. And in terms of your art, it's really a story. It's your journal. It's how you express your feelings. So
Right.
yes.
I want to ask you, Rebecca, now about your 5-year training program. How much has it contributed to the person that you are today, or to the artist that you are today?
Well, for me, I truly believe it has contributed a great deal in terms of practice. But art is something that can't be taught. It's something that is instilled, you're born with, and it can only be guided. But sometimes, in a way, I feel that if you're guided, you sort of lose that individuality that you once had, that kind of raw talent. But I also believe that formal training gives you the kind of mediums that you never thought you would explore on your own.
It just opens up avenues, would you say?
It does. And one thing about Karnataka Chitra Kala Parishad is where I did my 5-year Bachelor of Fine Arts, is that the classrooms are not really classrooms. They take your classes outdoors and indoors. You're sitting sometimes under a tree, and it's fascinating because you have your peer group who are doing law and engineering and things like that. And they wonder what you're really doing outside, under a tree while
They probably think you're having a lot of fun under the tree, having
true.
a lovely classroom out in the open.
Yes, it is. And, we probably spend weeks looking at a stone or a rock or a leaf, and, they find it sort of baffling to wonder what these people are really up to. They're spending 5 years looking at a stone, and, here we are having, volumes of books. But I think there's so much to life as an artist where you start to appreciate your surroundings. You start to appreciate life itself.
Right. In terms of your future as an artist, have you chalked out any direction? Have you chalked out any path that you might like to take?
Well, like I said, I don't see. The thing about art in me is it does not shackle me. It sort of liberates me. So there isn't one particular avenue that I particularly focus on. It's an open world. It's something that I'm fit to explore, and I'm out there.
Right. Rebecca, time for us to take another very short break. We're going to get right back with you in this wonderful conversation that I'm having here with my guest, Rebecca Taylor. Please don't go anywhere.